There is so much in the criminal system and in the civil system when it comes to politically sensitive cases or resource cases, which take you back to some of the worst days, even to some extent of Stalin. The Khodorkovsky trial was a classic show trial. A show trial defines itself in a number of ways, one of which is that it has absolutely very little to do with the reality of law and everything to do with the appearance of law. It is, in fact, the theatrics of a show trial that are incredibly important. The appearance of a court, the legitimizing nature of an adversarial system is something that was pushed on us in terms of the Khodorkovsky case. What was also pushed on us, unfortunately, was a scenario whereby our client every day was taken into court as if he was the brother of Osama bin Laden, literally in chains, with Spetsnaz special troops bringing him in, strapped to Lebedev, his jeans soaked with urine because he'd been kept without facilities for hours and hours, having missed breakfast, eventually also being brought back too late to get dinner, brought into court, put into a cage, sat on a bench which was about 5 inches wide and uncomfortably made to sit there through an entire day of absolutely surreal proceedings. And then at the end of the day, and this was every day, the photographers would come in at the 11th hour to take his picture in an attempt to break him. And I don't know if you saw the emblematic photo of him smiling through the cage, but it was an incredible measure of the man that through this whole period he never broke. When they made his father, who was an elderly gentleman, a lovely gentleman, a man who has dedicated himself after working for 41 years in a factory to building an orphanage, when they made his father on Russian television appear to be involved in a murder, attempting to sell the public on the idea that the father was a criminal, such as the son, it was the only time he showed even the hint of emotion as he attempted to communicate something to his father. You couldn't get through to him in the court because around him were arrayed these same troops who would literally stand in his face in an attempt to make sure that any communication that went on between his counsel and himself was overheard. So the trial, when you're talking about this type of show trial, the message to everyone was that if we can get Khodorkovsky, we can get anyone. The intent was not to in any way demonstrate due process, just the reverse. The intent was to demonstrate the impunity of the power, vlast in Russian. And to develop that impunity, Khodorkovsky had to be taken down. He was, in Putin's mind, an alternative center, a magnet around which opposition could congeal. Remember the timing of his arrest, just before the